Hello once again, welcome to our e-learning for today, and for this week number 8 we're going to discuss about lesson summary, all words that we discussed before, and this is the summary of vocabulary. We have week 8 May 10 to 14 2020, and here are your materials. If you are prepared, let's start to the things to do. For today, Sunday, we're going to discuss about the lesson summary for vocabulary, and you're going to answer the worksheet. For tomorrow, you're going to answer the English Socrative that talks about this lesson for today. And number 3, Wednesday, we're going to have some important grammar lesson summary, and you're going to answer required worksheet. So let's start with our lesson for today. So we have 3 vocabulary lessons, so that's 10 words in each lesson. So we have a total of 30 words for this last lesson summary for today. Now let's start with the first vocabulary. This is lesson number 17. So here are the words. Let's read them. Number 1, archaeologist. Number 2, replicas. Number 3, lustrous. Number 4, elaborate. Number 5, excavate. Number 6, distinct. Number 7, dignified. Number 8, mythical. Number 9, temperaments. And number 10, precede. Let's talk about the meaning of the words from 1 to 5 right now. So here are the meanings, okay? So when we say archaeologist, we talk about scientists who study artifacts to learn about the human cultures of the past. So when you are a scientist of learning about this history of the cultures of the past, you are called an archaeologist, okay? So replicas means duplicates or copies. So if you want to copy something from history or from art, or you're going to duplicate something, we call these products as replicas, okay? Lustrous means shining or gleaming. So something that is shiny, for example, a gold earring, golden jewelry, something like that. We use the word lustrous, which means it's shining or gleaming. Number 4, elaborate. So elaborate means work out in great detail or complex. So for example, in our discussion in lesson 17 before, elaborate means when you see a very fine detail, okay, for the terracotta army, you use the word elaborate, okay? Next, excavate means to remove by digging. So when you dig something out from the soil, when you dig fossils and artifacts, old vases and potteries, you use the word excavate, okay? Let's discuss number 6 to number 10. So for 6 and 10, number 6, we have distinct. It means clearly different, easily told apart. So when you say, I can smell the distinct odor of this flower, something like that. So which means that when you say distinct, it means that you know automatically. So you can clearly say that this is different, okay? So number 7, we have dignified. Dignified means calm, proud, and stately. So when you say a president that is good, for example, he is somewhat like dignified. So dignified means a calm person, a proud person, and stately person, okay? So number 8, mythical. So mythical, it talks about fantasy or our imaginary. So most of the time it's relating to myths. That's why the word mythology, okay, and the word mythical. So everything that's imaginary, like dragons, ghosts, something like that, gods and goddesses in Greek mythology and Norse mythology, something like that, we use the word mythical, okay? Number 9, temperaments. So temperaments, so we talk about emotional, physical, attitude, or characteristics. So anything relating to personalities of different kinds of people. So we use the word temperaments, all right? And number 10, precede. It means to come before in order or time. So something that comes before, okay, something, all right? So for example, in the story, the horse with a rotten fish comes before the chariot of the dead king or the dead emperor, something like that. So comes before, so to precede in order or time, okay? So that's from 1 to 10. Now I'm going to give you an activity right now, and this is practice number 1, fill in the blanks. Okay, so I want you to pause this video and answer the following. So let's read. A bipolar has many blank, so they are difficult to understand. So what word from 1 to 10 in just the thing that we discussed right now perfectly fits in this blank here, okay? For number 2, I can taste the blank flavor of the lemongrass in this soup. Number 3, Zoe explained her blank plan to submit Natalie's novel. Number 4, sometimes I want to be a blank creature flying in a fantasy land. And number 5, a lightning always blank a thunder. So I want you to again pause this video and answer, because I'm going to give you the answers after some seconds. So if you are done answering this activity, I'm going to show you the correct answers now. I hope you got them correctly. So for number 1, a bipolar has many what? Temperaments, so which means personalities. So they are difficult to understand. So number 2, I can taste the blank flavor of the lemongrass in this soup. So you can taste the distinct flavor. So distinct, which means you can easily tell that this is the flavor of it. Okay. Number 3, Zoe explained her elaborate plans. Elaborate, which means that it's complex or in great detail. So everything in detail, something like that. In number 4, sometimes I want to be a mythical creature flying in a fantasy land. So you can get the idea from the word fantasy land. So anything that is imaginary relating to myths. So mythical. And number 5, if you observe, a lightning should precede a thunder. So which means that a lightning comes before a thunder. Alright, so that's the activity practice number 1. Let's go and discuss vocabulary words set number 2. Okay, so this is another set of vocabulary words that we finished before. Here are the words. So this is from lesson 18, the hero and the minotaur. Let's read them. Number 1, steadfast. Number 2, rash. Number 3, bitterly. Number 4, unravels. Number 5, labyrinth. Number 6, fury. Number 7, embrace. Number 8, abandon. Number 9, massive. And number 10, somber. Okay, so here are the words that we finished before. Now I will give you the meaning of the words 1 to 5. So steadfast, so unchanging or always loyal. So in the story, Theseus was steadfast, which means that he did not change. He is always loyal. He was always loyal in finishing his mission. Okay. Number 2, rash. Quick and careless, foolish or reckless. So rash means foolish manner or foolish decision, something like that. Quick and careless. So for example, when you are angry, sometimes you do something rash. Okay, so you're not going to think about it because you're angry. So rash means quick and careless, reckless or foolish. Number 3, bitterly. So if you are very angry in doing something or in an angry, resentful manner, you use the word bitterly. So for example, he did his assignment bitterly, which means that in an angry or resentful manner. Number 4, unravels. Unravels, it means to pulls apart the components of a thing, place or idea, or opens up. So when you pull apart components of a thing, like for example, a book, you pull apart, you open up, something like that, or you want to open up an idea and say it, share it, you use the word unravels. Okay. And number 5, labyrinth. So labyrinth is something like related to a maze. So a winding arrangement of passage intended to confuse. So in the story, the minotaur was inside the labyrinth. Let's go and discuss 6 to 10. So for 6 to 10, we have number 6, fury. So a fit of wild anger or rage. So you're in a situation that you are very angry. So this is what we call the word fury. We use the word fury. Number 7, embrace. Embrace is to hug or to hold into one's arms. Okay, so for example, kids usually embrace their parents. Number 8, we have abandon. So abandon is to leave a person or a thing behind. So for example, there are many cruel people who abandon their pets in a place. For example, if they cannot feed it anymore, okay, that's so lonely and sad. So when they leave a pet behind, you use the word abandon. Number 9, massive. So massive means very large, heavy, and bulky. So I think you know the meaning of this massive. We've discussed this many times in our classroom before. And in number 10, we have somber. Somber means dark, gloomy, dull, or serious. So gloomy, which means very sad. So in a situation that people are very serious, there's no color or dull, or very sad, or very dark, they feel very sad and dark, it means that you're going to use the word somber. Okay, so those are the 10 words. Now let's go to the practice number 2. And again, this is fill in the blanks. So you're going to answer using the words that we just discussed right now. So I want you again to pause this video before going to the next slide. All right. So let's read the activity. So number 1, Lena said, I will never blank my people. So what word in the 10 words that we just discussed perfectly fits in this blank. Okay, so let's continue. To win the war, the Greeks made a blank horse called the Trojan horse. Number 3, the children blanked their parents before the field trip. Number 4, IKEA's stores seemed like a blank, which is a bit confusing. And number 5, do not make a blank action when you're angry. So you can see some context clues over here. So my people, Trojan horse, their parents, confusing, and action when you're angry. So answer it right now. So when you are done answering, let me show you the correct answers. So here are the correct answers for number 1 to 5. So for number 1, I will never abandon. Okay, so I will never abandon my people. For number 2, to win the war, the Greek made a massive horse called the Trojan horse. So it was very big and bulky. Number 3, the children blanked their parents before the field trip. So I think you know the answer. Embrace. Number 4, the IKEA store seemed like a labyrinth because it's a little bit confusing, a winding passage where it's very hard to find a way. Okay. And number 5, do not make a rash decision when you're angry. So which means quick, foolish, or somewhat like stupid decision when you're angry. Okay. So that's the practice number 2. Let's go to the final set of words that we discuss. So here are the words. This is in lesson number 19. So let's read them. Number 1, divine. Number 2, ceremonial. Number 3, fragments. Number 4, pondered. Number 5, supportive. Number 6, erected. Number 7, mission. Number 8, prosperity. Number 9, emerge. And number 10, depicted. Okay? So let's discuss the meaning of the words from 1 to 5. So for number 1, divine. Of, from, or like a god, worthy of worship. So in the ancient times, Egyptian civilization, pharaohs or their leaders, they feel like they are divine people, so they believe that they are like a god or worthy of worship. So that is the word divine. So anything related to or from a god or like a god, that you can use the word divine. Number 2, ceremonial. Ceremonial is formal, performed in honor of special event or occasion. So for example, there are weddings and events in our lives, for example, and you need to follow a certain rules, and that is related to this special event or occasion. That word you're going to use is the word ceremonial. Okay. Number 3, fragments. So fragments are parts broken off from a whole. If you have broken base and you have these small pieces and you put them together again, you call them fragments because they are parts broken off from a whole. Number 4, pondered. Thought deeply, considered carefully. So when you are deciding something, you need to think very deeply and you need to consider it very carefully before having your final decision. Okay. Number 5, supportive. So providing encouragement or sympathy or support. So sometimes when we have problems, we have friends and our parents supporting us. So what do we use as a word? We use the word supportive. Okay, so they provide encouragement and sympathy when we have problems. So let's go to 6 to 10. So for number 6, erected. So erected means constructed or build up. So for example, pharaohs before, they erected pyramids. Okay, so for example, also you have to build a new home or build a new house, you're going to say I erected my new house, something like that. So number 7, mission. Mission is an assignment to complete or it is an important task. So for example, in movies you can see some mission. Okay, so for a soldier to complete this task, we call this a mission. Number 8, we have prosperity. So prosperity is a condition of being successful or having a good fortune or something like it's related to being rich. Okay, so prosperity. So for example, you have a very good business and you accumulated wealth and fame, for example, and that is what you call prosperity. Okay, prosperity doesn't mean only money or fame. It can be also health or satisfaction. Okay. Number 9, emerge is to become known. So it's hidden before or it's not known and now to become known. So that is to emerge. Okay. And number 10, we discussed this many times before, depicted. So portrayed or showed in words or pictures. So for example, in your activity in the classroom, please portray the following, depict the following. So you need to show in words or actions or pictures the following things, something like that. So those are the words from 1 to 10. And finally, we have again Practice number 3, fill in the blanks. Again, please pause this video before answering. Let's read them. Number 1, the king blank a statue of himself. So find the correct word that perfectly fits here. So the words that we just discussed right now. Number 2, he blanked for a while before giving his final decision to the crowd. So you can see some context clues over here. Number 3, Greek mythology is often blank in Hollywood movies. Number 4, she collected the blank of the broken glass before her mom finds out. And number 5, in times of war, a hero must blank and lead the way. So I want you to answer this right now. So if you're done answering, I'm going to show you the correct answers. Hope that your answers are correct. So for number 1, the king erected a statue of himself. So erected means to construct or to build up. Number 2, he pondered for a while before giving his final decision to the crowd. So pondered means thought carefully or considered carefully. Number 3, Greek mythology is often depicted, so which means showed or portrayed in words or actions or pictures in Hollywood movies. Number 4, she collected the fragments of the broken glass before her mom finds out. And number 5, in times of war, a hero must, what's your answer? Emerge and lead the way. So emerge to become known, okay? So here are the answers for this activity. All right. Here are the tricks and tips again. If you want to answer your worksheet for now, you can use your internet browser to get an idea how to use each word in a sentence. So I've explained this many times before. I think you know what to do. So I'm going to explain how to answer the worksheet. So I'm going to click it here. So this is your vocabularies and summary worksheet for today. It's quite easy. Everything is in the video. So what are you going to do is to answer question number 1. So for question number 1, you're going to write the meaning definition of the following words. So from A to P. So there are 15 words here. So you should take note from the video, and everything is actually in the video. So that's why you just copy and paste it over here. And in number 2, you're going to use the following in a sentence. So we have used these words before in your activities, so just copy them. Or you can write another new sentence. You can use your browser, your Google or your Safari. You can answer this right now, okay? So it's only 2 pages. You can finish this for 1 or 2 hours, something like that. All right? So that's our worksheet for today. So I think that's the end of our lesson for today. Thank you for watching. This is Mr. Johnson signing off. Thank you and goodbye.